Your book was published and is available on Amazon actually January of this year. It has over 140 views, and of course, as you know, has surpassed J.K. Rowling's Harry Potter books in the sword and sorcery category in Amazon. What do you think it is about the main character Alex that people find so relatable?
Well, I think they are connecting to the point that not only is she just a female character for young girls to look up to, it's
Okay.
actually it wasn't done to be cliche or to pander to females. It was
Mm-hmm.
actually, I'm a father of two daughters,
Mm-hmm.
and it was both my daughters combined into one character,
Okay.
and I wanted to give them someone that's very much like them to
Mm-hmm.
admire and look up to, and I think a lot of folks are responding and connecting to that. Not to downplay the importance of inspiring young men and young boys,
Right.
but as a male myself, growing up, I have Superman, Spider-Man, all these
Mm-hmm.
heroes, Iron Man. There's one
Mm-hmm.
common thing: it's man. And
Right.
even in like the Avengers, the female characters are always secondary. They're more of an
Yes.
afterthought than the
Yes.
main one charging in, taking charge,
Mm-hmm.
accomplishing great things. And I think a
Mm-hmm.
lot of people are responding well because not only is Alex a character that she's kind of leading the way, very independent, doing her thing to contribute to the events of the story.
Right.
It's just ringing true because it doesn't matter whether she was a boy or a girl. The
Mm-hmm.
gender was irrelevant because either whether you're male or female, you can accomplish those great things just like Alex did in the
So tell
story.
me, what has
Right.
it been like for you to receive this recognition? How do you feel?
It's every day. It's a little hectic. My old hometown in central Louisiana has been contacting me. I'm making a special
Wow.
visit at the end of March there, and it's kind of getting the red.
Congratulations.
Yeah, so I'm like a hometown hero. Going back home to get the kind of the red carpet treatment. It's very overwhelming.
Mm-hmm.
Every day I'm gaining new fans, and to me, the best moment so far has been from Canada. There was an 11-year-old girl that contacted me through Facebook and asked if
Okay.
I was the author. And
Mm-hmm.
through our conversation, I asked her what she thought of the book, what her favorite characters were, her favorite
Mm-hmm.
scene.
Mm-hmm.
And when she had told me in our conversation that she's an avid reader, reads 20 books a week, which I don't know how kids
Wow.
have the time, but she had told
Wow.
me that she just finished the entire Percy Jackson series and that my book was the best book she's ever read. And
Wow.
it just floored me because that's exactly the kind of impact I was hoping for.
Mm-hmm.
And of course, I asked her immediately, is your parents, with you? Because obviously, young people on the internet, you have to be kind of conscious of that. And
Right.
I work in
Exactly.
cybersecurity, so I'm very conscious of these matters. And she said her mom was right next to her as she was
Mm-hmm.
chatting with me. I said, okay, good. Then she asked if she saw some pictures online of different people around the world holding up the
Mm-hmm.
series logo flyer, and she asked if she could take one. I said, by all means, take one. And of course, that's been posted on my Facebook as well. But
Mm-hmm.
the response has been really overwhelming.
Wow. Okay. Now, I read actually and saw on your website that you're currently working on three other installments to go along with this book. When can readers actually expect those books to be out?
Well, book two is going to be completed right now, April of this year.
Okay.
The only reason why I'm hesitating on self-publishing again is because my hope is that I actually have a booth reserved at the London Book Fair in April,
Mm-hmm.
and my hope and wish is that I could find either a literary agent or a publisher like Simon and Schuster or
Right.
Scholastic because quite honestly, I do work for the military where I do
Mm-hmm.
cybersecurity work, and both these worlds, both the cybersecurity world and the book writing world, which I'm very new to the book writing world, it's
Mm-hmm.
very demanding of your time, and I
Yes.
wish I can engage the fans more. But almost every day I have people reaching out to me, and I try my best to respond, and it's one of those where I think eventually having a publisher or a company that can
Mm-hmm.
help me with the PR, the marketing, and
Right.
just responding to fans would be very beneficial to me. Um, so my hope is that book two may be delayed because a publisher would want to publish it first time with them. But
Okay.
if things don't work out well at London Book Fair, the book will be published no later than May,
Okay. Okay.
and
Now,
then the other books will follow shortly after.
okay. Okay. Now, of course, you just spoke of marketing and PR. What was your strategy behind when you first sat down and decided, not only am I going to write this book, but I'm going to self publish it as well?
Yeah, so I did what most book writers do. As a computer guy,
Mm-hmm.
I did. I googled, how to write a book, how to self-publish. I did a lot of my legwork and research, and of course, a lot of sites will tell you have to find an agent, you have to send out your manuscripts to all the different publishing houses, and so I did the whole. I must have sent over 1,000 emails to all these different publishers and agents. And ultimately, in the end, I had 11 publishers come back to me with contract offers for the book, and
Wow.
none of their contracts seemed to have the thing I was looking for, which is, a strong marketing team, because these were small press
Right.
houses,
Okay.
and they all were offering to Amazon, BarnesandNoble.com. They were all
Mm-hmm.
offering to .coms, which was something I thought, well, I could do that on my own, and
Okay.
that's what made me decide to self-publish. The second goal of the marketing behind it, I had to think of what are the concepts in my book that I wanted to represent, not only for the children, that's my intended audience, but
Right.
obviously children of that age group don't have, credit cards, debit cards, and Amazon accounts. So I
Mm-hmm.
had to think, how do I get the interest of a parent, of a grandmother, of an aunt, someone
Okay.
that's going to be the person that actually buys it for their young ones.
Okay.
And so I came up with the what is the missing variable concept, which is in my book. And the
Oh,
missing
okay.
variable is, we have all these problems in our real world, just like
Right.
there's problems in the story. And
Mm-hmm.
so they talk about that there's an equation, that there's something wrong with the equation. Similar to like when we talk about gender equality, there's a
Right.
problem with that.
Right.
But what we always seem to do is we start to talk about the factors of gender equality. Like we need more government focus. We need more leaders
Mm-hmm.
promoting gender equality. We
Right.
talk about these factors, but no one ever says, what's the thing that we're missing. And this missing variable concept in my story is
Mm-hmm.
that thing or person that can change it, that can change the world. And what's unique about it is that it doesn't have to be this a prophet or the chosen one,
Right.
like Neo in the Matrix or Harry Potter.
Mm-hmm.
What you'll find out in the course of this series that kids will discover is that everybody and anybody can be the missing variable to make that change.
Okay.
And I guess I'll give a little hint to what book 4 will eventually twist all of the series around. The first 3 books
Okay.
talk about the missing variable as if there's a missing thing to fix the equation. But
Right.
by book 4, a prominent character will tell Alex that you're not the missing variable. You should change the equation, which completely twists everything you've been led to believe, that you could be that one piece of it. But then instead of trying to be a piece of the solution of the problem, change the problem altogether.
Right. Okay.
And so, so that's been my recent push online is, change the equation, change the
Mm-hmm.
world. And
Okay.
that's been one of my main tweets lately.
Okay. So, is it safe to say you just kind of gave VMH a little bit of an exclusive in terms of what book
Yes,
four is going to be?
actually I did. That's a very prominent message in book 4, yeah.
Okay. All right. Now, with that and with everything that you just mentioned, you did an interview where you conducted an interview with Girl Talk HQ, where you
That's correct.
discussed, yes, where you discussed your reason for writing your book, of course, as you mentioned, and why you felt it was important when it comes to girls and mathematics. Do you feel that books like yours and others can help to continue and raise awareness, as well as have an influential, impact on STEM programs for girls and their involvement with them?
Yes, of course. Reading is a very powerful thing, because when you read, a lot of us as adults, we read both for pleasure and we read both for our jobs or for
Right.
our education.
Right.
And one of the talks that I'm giving to the Evans School in Central Louisiana in March,
Mm-hmm.
the theme of this talk is that books can take you places, both real and imaginary.
Okay.
And it's through the books that I wanted to infuse the math and to inspire and motivate the kids to want to study science and study math more through this
Mm-hmm.
fantasy story, because we all grew up where we said, when am I going to use this in the real world? When is this ever going to be important to me? But if I can
Right.
capture them at a young age to see that to Alex, these things matter, to the city
Right.
of people that Alex finds herself trying to help, it matters. That way, as they start to see science and math, instead of being turned off by it because they don't immediately understand it, they will
Mm-hmm.
hopefully be nudged further to pursue it more. Because ultimately, We need more scientists. We need more engineers. We need more doctors. And why
Mm-hmm.
can't they be females?
Right.
Females and males. We need more of these professions because, quite honestly, not every kid can be the next LeBron James or Jennifer Lawrence, whether
Right.
movie star or sports figure, but they could
Right.
be the next great them.
Mm-hmm.
My colleagues will ask me,
Mm-hmm.
when are you going to finish the rest of the books, or do you think that maybe you'll stop? And I look at them and I tell them immediately, I said, I can't stop. I must
Right.
complete this series because
Right.
as a parent, I can never tell my kids that they can't quit if I quit. And
Mm-hmm.
so that's even more, as a parent, the message I have to make sure I live every day for my kids, that I seize the opportunities I can, I work hard at it, stay motivated, and they
Mm-hmm.
see that every day.
Okay. All right. Well, that definitely sounds great. With that, what would you say has been the most rewarding experience for you thus far?
Really, it's when a young fan connects back to me, reaches out to me, tells me how they love the story. I get the comparisons all the time to Harry Potter, Golden Compass,
Mm-hmm.
Chronicles of Narnia, all of the
Mm-hmm.
great young adult literature. I get the constant comparisons, which it's very flattering. But at the same time, I want the story to stand on its own.
Okay.
Um, the 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 greatest feeling really is just the fact that I finished the first book and that the response is just every day. Like I said, it grows and grows. Every day there's new fans connecting, new fans discovering it.
Right.
And again, I think it's just the biggest accomplishment is to see how my daughters smile and they're excited about it. And in the end, I just hope that when I do finish this journey, wherever it will take me, that my
Mm-hmm.
girls get inspired to know that they can, whatever they put their mind to, they can accomplish. Whatever they stay dedicated to, they can achieve. And that's really ultimately, as a parent, as a father, that's mission
Mm-hmm.
number one. Mission
Okay.
number two, to change the world, that'll come in time, and hopefully with good luck and good fortune, and hopefully a good PR and marketing team. I would
Right.
hope
Okay.
that, if
Now.
anything, there are even more books and more materials for children, whether to get them engaged into STEM, science,
Okay.
technology, engineering, mathematics, or the arts. I would
Mm-hmm.
hope there's even more material for young people because, when you have a lot of material like Twilight, Hunger
Right.
Games, I don't think the messages in those are more akin to what the preteens and the younger readers really need right now. And
Okay.
not to slight those series, they're
Right.
popular and so
Mm-hmm.
forth. But I think our younger minds, they get enough from the news of all the terror threats we have in the world, the natural
Mm-hmm.
disasters, but they need
Mm-hmm.
something hopeful and inspiring. And as
Right.
you said, 2 to 3 years from now, I would hope I'm not the only one. I would hope that I'm just one book in a sea of books that are inspiring and motivating their minds to ask the questions, to inquire and grow their knowledge.
Okay.
Well, first thing is finish your book. No matter what anyone tells you, finish it. As
Okay.
hard as it may be, that is really the first major step. When you
Mm-hmm.
get to the end of your story, that really truly is the biggest accomplishment you can make. And I've talked to a lot of writers. I've made a lot of writer acquaintances through this
Mm-hmm.
progress.
Mm-hmm.
I've so a lot of folks online and even at my work and in Kuwait have approached me to say, how do I get my book out there? And the first question I ask is, have you finished it yet?
Mm-hmm.
And most of the time is, well, I started, but I didn't finish.
Right.
And I can't emphasize that just to finish it is the
Mm-hmm.
first major milestone. When you get to the end, even though you might not be happy with it, a lot of folks, depending
Right.
on the personality, are more critical on themselves than others. But to me,
Mm-hmm.
finishing it first and
Mm-hmm.
then having like a beta reading group or having friends and family that could give you an honest critique to help
Mm-hmm.
you, whether it's from a proofreading perspective or to say what they liked and didn't like, to
Okay.
help you improve your writing. But at the end of the day, listen to the voice inside yourself. Get your story
Okay.
out. Get to the DN part, and
Mm-hmm.
then publish. Amazon, the Kindle Direct Publishing Program is a wonderful program for just anybody that can just put a username and password in, can instantly set up an account and get their book out there, and
Okay.
let the public, let the internet, let the world judge your work. And no matter good or bad or how they judge it, you've accomplished something that very few people follow through with, and that's the key: follow through.
Okay. Okay. Well, that's definitely good advice. Good advice. Now, is there anything else that you would like to add to conclude this interview?
Well, thank you very much for the time you're giving me. I really
Mm-hmm.
appreciate this opportunity to speak with you. Um, I guess if I had any message is that if you have a niece, a nephew, or a son, daughter, granddaughter, cousin, any child in your life, you have the opportunity to make a change. And I'm not trying to say buy my book. I'm trying to
Right.
say, support them getting into a STEM program. There are STEM programs coming up in every city, every school, and they need to be engaged with these programs because our
Mm-hmm.
default education is nowhere near on par with the rest of the world. And we need to become more competitive. President Obama has
Definitely.
spoken to this about education. I'm happy
Mm-hmm.
to see that there's more money being spent for like NASA and programs of this nature because we really need to have a generation of scientists because these problems that we have, these equations that are
Right.
things wrong with our world, like world hunger, cancer,
Right.
AIDS,
Right.
all of these things won't be solved with dunking basketballs or performing on camera or doing a
Yes.
reality TV show. It's going to
Yes.
take it's going to take the future generations that are scientists, mathematicians, and engineers, and
Mm-hmm.
that's how we're going to solve the big problems that we're going to face in our lifetimes. So
Okay.
please motivate your kids to pursue the sciences.